Imagine the luxurious world of fine wine collectors, where bottles cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Our story begins in the late 1980s, when billionaire William Koch made a dazzling purchase that would soon turn into a high-stakes investigation. Sit back, pour yourself a glass, and let's dive into the mystery of the Jefferson Bottles. But first, let's get into that intro. Welcome to Beats and Wine Stories. My name is Steve, and I'm your host through this vast world of wine and the music that dances along with it. Join us as we journey through the sensory experiences that define cultures, awaken the palate, and stir the heart. So grab your favorite glass and let the journey begin. This is Beats and Wine Stories. It all started when Koch bought 4 bottles of wine for a staggering $500,000. These weren't just any bottles. They were said to date back to 1787 and were claimed to have belonged to none other than Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd president of the United States. The bottles came from a collection owned by Hardy Rodenstock, a prominent figure in the German music scene turned wine collector. Rodenstock claimed he had discovered these treasures in a hidden Parisian cellar. Given Jefferson's well-documented love for French wines and his meticulous records of his purchases, it seemed plausible. Jefferson even supplied George Washington with top-tier wines, making the story all the more believable. But then, the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston decided to display Koch's prized collection. And that's when things took a dark turn. The folks at Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, examined the bottles and discovered a disturbing discrepancy. According to Jefferson's own notes, he had never purchased the type of wine contained in these bottles. Suddenly, the authenticity of the Jefferson bottles was in serious doubt. Had Hardy Rodenstock pulled off a grand con? Determined to uncover the truth, Koch hired former FBI agent Jim Ellroy to investigate. Ellroy assembled a team of elite investigators, including experts from Scotland Yard and MI5. Their mission, should they choose to accept, was to prove the vintage of the wine without opening the bottles. That's when Philip Hubert comes in, a French physicist with a unique method involving the atomic bomb. When the first atomic bombs were detonated in the 1940s, they released a new radioactive isotope called cesium-137. This isotope didn't exist before 1945, but is now present everywhere. Hubert realized that he could determine if the wine was bottled post-1945 by detecting cesium-137. Hubert took the bottles into his lab under the Alps, shielding them from external radiation with lead smelted by ancient Romans. The results were clear. No cesium-137. The wine had indeed been bottled before 1945. But the mystery wasn't solved yet. Ellroy's team discovered that each bottle was engraved with the initials THJ, presumably for Thomas Jefferson. However, these engravings were made using an electric dentistry tool, not something from the 18th century. With this evidence, Koch launched 8 lawsuits against Rodenstock and his associates. The legal battles cost Koch at least $25 million, but he managed to recoup some of his losses when the courts awarded him $12 million in damages. As we reflect on the Jefferson Bottles saga, we see that it's not just a story about wine, but about the relentless pursuit of truth and the passion for authenticity. In our own lives, we face moments of doubt and deception, times when we must dig deeper to uncover the reality behind the facade. This story reminds us to value honesty and integrity, whether in a rare vintage or in our personal journeys. As you raise your next glass, may it be a toast to the strength and determination that leads us to truth, and to the stories, both revealed and hidden, that enrich our lives. Here's to the relentless quest for authenticity in wine and in life. Once again, thank you so much for joining and listening in. For the music of Beats and Wine, visit beatsandwine.com/music. I appreciate you so much. And until next time, cheers to your exceptional self.